Hmm. Okay. So you're here. Ryan, is it Ryan? I'm watching you. I watch everybody. I make sure I answer everybody because everybody means something. And I'm a little afraid that this gets too big. Then I won't be able to answer anybody exactly. But I will, because I'll find a system. It'll be a round circle, and I'll go, okay, number 4 today. And everybody's going to talk about different things, and I'm going to try and categorize everything so that I can look at this piece of paper and somehow talk about it or even answer. So here's weeds and things. What I was going to talk about right now is I'm so far behind. It's crazy. It's just crazy. I mean, first of all, I want to talk about the days of the week. The initial of the day of the week, I want to do it in English and French, first thing. I'd like to do it in Spanish and Greek, but right for now, can't get them all in. I want the first initial. I want the total count. I want to do the count in Pythagorean. I want to do the count in numbers. I want to do the count in Chaldean. I want to do the count in numerology, and I want to check it out on Kabbalah. Then I want to take it and take the roulette board, okay, and put each number for each day where they accordingly fit in the 4 categories of numbers. And at the same time, because there's 26 numbers, what you can do is say the first one is a C. So you can put C here, C here, C here, because there's 4 C's. M, 4 times something, is because there's 4 C's. 4 by 9 is 36. And in French, every single word says 49. 7 times 7. Mars, Pluto. But on Sunday in French, it says Pluto, Mars. Well, it says Mars, Pluto, but it says it as the first 2 letters instead of the last 2 letters. It's dimanche in French. D-I is first. Manche says the hand. There's Monday, lundi, the moon day. Is that today, moon day? If today was the day of the moon of the sun that came yesterday, then I would prefer it to be Tuesday, because that's the day I choose. It could be when, but I'm not sure all about when. Now, that could be Wednesday. In Spanish, they call it a miracle, and in French, they call it mercredi. M-E-C in mec. Okay, M-E, okay, is me. C is the creation. R is the angel resident. Ready. Red, are you ready? Reading BRAIL, let's get it ready. Let's go into the game. What day do you want? I want when. The day of when is the middle day between the first day and the chosen day. After the day, you get your skull, which is lundi, which is the moon day. From the Sunday, the day of the sun, when he got his right sleeve. You only get one side, but you're born with the whole body. What's under your sleeve? Nothing. A little bit of magic. Friday, fried eggs. Far, fare, ferryman. The ferryman somehow. Giant Jean Ferret. I'm really a joke. I'm a joke. It's something that's about this big, that's like little roots on a tree that goes through my body, that makes this whole body. That's nothing. That's stupid. It's a dummy. This body's a dummy. Knows nothing. What can the soul know? You think animals don't have spirit? The spirit of the lion? But the lion doesn't have any spirit. It doesn't count. I'm not going to count anything with spirit. Animals pick and choose. I wonder if that comes from soul. Soul picks and chooses within its own DNA? Or is this whole entire earth built on the Flintstones? Entirety. From A to Z. A Barney is a ruble. You follow me? A Barney is a ruble. Fred Flintstone. Jesus Christ is born in the barn. It's a ruble. What is a ruble? Is it rubble? Is it roux? Is it R-U-S-T in French, which the wheel that turns? Because without Jesus Christ, getting married is so much different. Getting divorced is so much different. Without Jesus Christ, sex is all different. You'd remove Jesus Christ from this world and the whole world changes. Because half the people in the world won't be deciding the way they do. You want to have sex tonight? I sure do, but I can't. because of Jesus Christ, can't have sex. But did he have sex with Mary Magdalene? You want to hear something funny? From the very beginning of this project, I said like this, somehow Mary Magdalene is my grandmother. My grandmother was Mary and she was Frank, and Frank comes from the same family. Am I trying to sell you on this? I'm trying to sell you a vine. Just one vine, one thought of how things can be split up to mean anything at all. You want to go for the Spirit? They're selling 72 and 85. Right next to each other. It says 72.85. 72.85, 72.86, dark chocolate. Don't forget, 8 and 5 is to the left. 8 and 5 is 13 in its center, 258. But 8 and 5 is 13 to the left. But the numbers come out of the center. Have you ever seen the numbers come out of the center but belong somewhere else? 8 and 5, 258. These are things I do. I take the week that ends up on a Friday, which is a vendredi. Hold on, I feel the chicken inside my ribs. Oh, there's a chicken inside of me. Cock-a-doodle-doo! My hat's all red with you. Anyways, I was speaking about the roux. It's also rust. It's also 39.39, which is 18 and 21, and 15 and 24, and 12 and 27. And it all comes from the right-hand side of the roulette numbers. And I haven't even started with roulette. There's English, North American, then there's, I call it European France. The numbers where you can bet somehow are the same, or are they different? I don't remember. They have 38 on one and 37 on the other. The difference between this number and that number, and it goes around. You count 9 and then a corner, and 9 and then a corner, and 9 and then a corner. So you would figure out where it goes on Monopoly. Now you have all these 9s, and you have number 32. 3 and 2 is 5. 3 plus 2 is 5. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 and 5, 11. So your first answer is 6. Your next answer is 5. Your next answer is 11. Your next answer is 2. And we haven't left the second box yet. Now all these numbers are going to tell me something different when I go to Pythagorean, Chaldean, when I go into gematria, if I go to Kabbalah and regular numbers. Each one of these has a different letter. God forbid I should spell something. And spell something somewhere else on the wheel. Holy crap, we'd spell the same thing twice. Don't forget about the one simple thing. Every time you have 0, you have 6. When you play Baccarat, all 10s are 6. So that means man is 10, he is 6. Let's learn about Baccarat. But wait a second, I haven't finished with roulette. And I started with the days of the week and the initials. Lundi, L3. But it started with Dimanche, 4. 4-3, the first 2 days, Earth and Mars, the prism, man's thinking. Have you ever seen what man's head really looks like? It's a sweet potato. I know. I spoke to Caroline. She showed me this big, huge potato. She thought it was a delusional, some kind of bull ball. No, I told her it goes right over here. One here, one here. 2 potatoes in her head. The potatoes are in the ground. The potatoes are in the ground. Ground round. I'm making them whirl. I got mashed potatoes in my head. Did I tell you I looked at the letter E at Bureau en Gros today? The E was so beautiful. It looked like you could put a square inside, like you could put 2 squares inside of an E. Imagine if each E I can put a square, a Rubik's Cube, inside the area of E, and I got 4 of them. You put one in the center, then you put a pin in the middle of the center one, and spin it around the 4 outside clocks. What if each clock was 6 hours? 6, 6, 6, and 12. 24. What would this clock be? Be one clock spinning around the time of 4 different areas, time cube. And I've thought of this before, and I know it's real. I know it's real. Just because people call it a name, it's real in my mind of whatever I designed it to be. But somebody else might say time cube is something else. It is, and everything is, of what you can actually figure out, some sort of mathematical situation that works. Make a situation, make the mathematics work, boom. Now you can put letters to the numbers, you got a name, you got a whole phrase in a sentence, you're on your way to page 2. In things you can do, besides about how many things are there to do and how many things you can do about these things you're going to do. So now I got roulette. So now let's try to pick another one. How about number 12? See, number 12 ends up on the right side of the board, but it becomes from 2 from the center side of the board, and 1 comes from the left side of the board. But it does not touch with 4, 5, and 6, because you can make a bet 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you can make a bet between 1, 2, 4, and 5 inside of the roulette. And the payoffs on each one would be 35 to 1, 11 to 1, 8 to 1, and 5 to 1. Now you have to calculate the amount of chips you put and the areas you put them, find the average of what it is, and then you'll understand what this little piece of the roulette wheel might mean, and it repeats itself 4 times. No, it doesn't, because every other area is a double digit. Double digits, there are 27 double digits in roulette, plus 9 that go in the bottom. Let's say the 9 are at the bottom and 0 is the beginning of everything. But don't forget about 0 on the phone, because 0 on the phone is number 11. Oh, and I'm so sure. I'm so sure because they told me. They told me. Look at that. On this one, it's 10 and 11. It could be 1 and 2 is 12, but the rotation to this next order would be 1 and 2. On the phone, your 0 is over here. Your 8 is down here instead of up there. You remember I said 8 and 5 is 13, goes over here? Remember I told you number 12? Okay, 12, okay, or 2 and 1 is over here, makes 3, but this is 8 and 5 in the center. What 2 numbers can I make high that will come into low? I can't use, the lowest you can use is a 1. And if you use a 1, you must use a 9. If you use a 2, you can use an 8 and a 9. If you lose a 3, you can use 7, 8, and 9. If you use a 4, you can use 6, 7, 8, and 9. If you use a 5, you can use 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. If you use a 6, you can use 4, 5, 4, 7, 4, 6, 5, 4, 4, 5, 4. You see how confusing it starts to get? But wait a second. I haven't even taught anybody anything here. I haven't showed you any numbers at all. So let's get on to where, if this was the telephone and it was inverted, this would be 11 in the center, the star key would be 10, and the pound key would be 12. And you show me a phone that's a little bit different, and we'll see. Without preparation and all ado, and was I talking about today, Tuesday? You choose today, you thirst day. But the question is, when does that day show up? And Wednesday is between the day of the chosen and the time of the thirst, before we're all fried from the day of the week. Friday, the 5th day, started on the 1st day, ended the 5th day, and we crushed 2, 3, and 4, jailed to the rest of the week. Let's not talk about Saturday, because Saturday and Monday is how it all begins. You're free on Saturday and you work on Monday, 7 and 2. But 7 and 1, the 2 gateways, you must pray to God, but He's forgot, because you ain't got a lot of time here. And we ain't got a lot of time to waste to figure out whether A is number 1 or A is number 5, so they simplified it. Not only is A 1 in Pythagorean, Chaldean, not only is A 1 inside Gematria, in Kabbalah, in the Greek language, but A shows up in red. They put it on Rubik's Cube. They seem to show red in front of everything being number 1 to everything. It's the cherry on top. You go to the horse races, you go to thoroughbred horse racing. You go to thoroughbred horse racing, or you go to the sulky standard bred. The 1 is number 1. The 9 is purple, and the 10 is purple when you go to thoroughbred horse racing, and it's created by 1 and 2, and 1 and 3. In regular horse racing, 1 and 2 is red and blue. That's the standard breds. And in thoroughbreds, it becomes 1 and 3. Just like in the Olympics. First, second, third, left, right, it doesn't matter. The guy who's in the center is the one on top, cherry on top, who did the best. Let's go to this telephone right over here. Now we were talking about 0 before, when we're doing the days of the week, French or English. If we come up with a 0, like number 20, you have to add 6 to that 20. Man lives in Tuesday. It becomes Thursday, and he lives in Thursday again, because you get another 6. But in French, it's completely different. Where do we get the 6s? We must get a 6. But if we use different languages, it will give us in the letters a different number. So if we end up with a 6 or a 0, in order to create the 6, then we'll know what that numerological angle to Pythagorean and Chaldean. Let's say we take a day of Tuesday in Chaldean, where the T becomes a certain value, and then we go to Gematria, and the T becomes a certain value, and then all these values that you take, you can see the difference between the two, and you can know basically where the French world is, the English world is French and Chaldean, is gematria really the piano, etc. Because don't forget, the piano is actually 8. I keep saying gematria somehow and Chaldean are the same thing, but if Chaldean came first, what happens is man lives inside the keys, because 1 and 7 made 8. If 1 and 7 made 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you only have 5 to live with. The other ones are the walls, and you can't run your head into the wall. So over here we have the T on a bracket. On the keyboard, that same bracket is on number 9. So we have T on a bracket. This one is 9. Now we have 9T. 9T. And 90 are the brackets. 9D, 9T. You know, T's and D's. You got to put the STDs together. It's standard. It comes out in the alphabet, and it's standard. First, ST. Second, ND. Third, RD. Standard. Always use A in front, right? So now we have over here the R is on number 3, but the R is the 18th letter in numbers. We look on the keyboard over here, and the R is in the top of the keyboard in the area where there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'll say 10. Where the R is, it's where the keys that are, where there are 10 keys. It's on the top or the bottom row, furthest away from where you are. So there's always an expression of what you have to say, of where things are, in order to understand, because it's that simple. What did you do today? Okay. Now we have to understand. Tomorrow never comes. Who's tomorrow? What base was tomorrow on? When is when it arrives. And when it arrives, it becomes now. It also, at the same time when it becomes now, it also becomes today. Today, when, and now. They all can happen at the same time, but yesterday is gone. Let's talk about yesterday. So yesterday has to do with the past, as tomorrow has to do with the future. The future never shows up, although you can talk about it when the day comes that you thought the future might be here on a present date. Look, we're looking ahead at March 21st or April 20th, and April 25th is in the future, but when it's April 21st, it's not the future anymore. It's right now. It's today. It's when? It's now. It's not tomorrow, but if today is over, the future is not yesterday. Because the future always stays the future. Today is today, and the past is the past, and it'll always be that way. It'll never change. Only when you get to the area of today, when today is no longer and today is over, it becomes the word of the past. But still, you're today. So you have all these numerological areas. It's just like I got this information. It says, Mr. Fremont, you will be able to get this amount of 928, and the check is for 428 because we didn't have enough checks to give you a check. No, I'm only joking. I'm only joking. It does say there's a versement that has to be made to you. It's for this amount, but we only gave you this amount, but it doesn't tell you why. What I really like about this, okay, is the advice number is 004072475. And if zeros are like ones, okay, oh, I really like these numbers, whatever they are. Okay, where else was I? What was I discussing? I wanted to look something that I wrote somebody. Let me see. Let me see. So, or let's go back. Let's go back and speak about. So we have the sun, who's on a dimanche, and dimanche sounds like the sleeve, and manche in French is an inning for baseball. So when they say dimanche, they say forever life in the 8th world in 1/2 inning. Di means half. Moitié, un demi, give me a half. Demi is half. Half an hour. Di, demi is half. Now when you go to Mekadzi, they put half right inside the name of me, of creation. I'm half. And they say it in Wednesday, the 4th day of the week. And no matter what you do when you count Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4. Saturday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, 4. You got 2 fingers left over to make the rest. Should we tie these ends together to have a complete week? 3 days and 1 day, and 3 days and 1 day, and 3 days and 1 day. Number 6, And number 4, the 2 highest numbers that you can get, they equal 10. The 2 lowest numbers you can get is not 2 and 1. 1 is not a number. 1 exists because it's an area. The only thing 1 can be is a hole. The only thing 5 can be is the center of wherever that hole is. 501 is all one thing. You cannot do anything with it because of what it does. You see me, I am 1. I am the 1 in the screen of the 1 video you are watching, of the 1 mouse or of the other mouse, of whichever mouse you would pick up. It would be the only mouse that you would pick up. Of all the mouses that would move, you only have that 1 cursor of the 1 area on that screen. For the 1 coffee I lift with this hand. If my hand was bigger, I'd lift 4 coffees. No, I would not. Because if every glass had a coffee, I'd be lifting just one coffee that is in 4 glasses, but it's the same word, coffee. Has anybody looked into the great sky of 99, Jupiter? The greatest sky, the best, the most electric, the oil that pumped this world, that moved this land? Wayne, Indiana. Why? Because these things that I just spoke about is Wayne Gretzky, Jupiter, and Indiana. Because it comes that way. The oil of Edmonton Oilers, E and O, 5 and 15 in the 20 world of a man who wear number 99. Edmonton Oilers, 99 equals 119, 9/11. Watch out. When 9/11 is around, doesn't mean it's bad, but if it's good for one, oh boy, how good can it be for the other one? Number 13, Phil Esposito. ESP, 3, 6, and 9. Expose. CETO. Soto, Cito, Soto, Rotas. Opera. Number 1 only exists as an odd number in number 3. Because it becomes the passage for both these corners. Either 1 and 9 or 3 and 7. Now I'm always opposing and imposing that this is 9. How do I know it's not 9 like this? Because the card is set up this way. No. Who do you want? Where do you want to go? What do you want? Do you want the 2 up? Or do you want the 2 down? Or should I say the 3 up and the 3 down? 3 up, 3 down, bottom of the first, 2 men on base. Strike, 2 strikes, 1 ball, pitcher at the mound, catcher behind him. Uh-oh, watch out, there's an umpire. 1 umpire and 1 bat. Wouldn't that make 2 bats? But wait, there's a circle behind you. You never hear him? Man is waiting in the square. He's waiting in the square. He's doing the square dance. No, in baseball, he's waiting in the batter's circle. He's got donuts on his bat. He's putting black stuff. He's putting tar, rat tar. Why? Because it grips a whole lot better. Look at the art underneath his eyes when he slashes his eyes, both with tar, rat, black tar. And he takes his bat and he takes those donuts on because he wants it to be heavier. So when he gets to the plate, it's lighter. So even in baseball, they think this. I'll get a heavy bat to make my bat feel lighter by making it feel heavy now. Whoa, that's the same thing I do. Same technique. You stretch because when you stretch because you want to pre-stretch that if you do stretch, you want to know how far you can go so that when you do go, your body won't be afraid to go that way. There are so many little tiny things. Where else am I? You see, Mary Jane has started to leave my head, so I'm starting to lose the portion of the door. What else did I want to say? I'm trying to think. I'm reading something here that I sent somebody. Because I started to talk to send somebody, and I don't know if you know me at all, but when I start to write, I can write for an hour. Instead of doing a video, I'm writing, and all of a sudden I say, oh, I could have did a video, and then the high went away. And okay, so now let me look. Somebody was telling me to do the easiest numbers, the hardest numbers first, and I go, no, There's much more easier numbers, much more areas for easier numbers to do first. Get rid of them all. At least know the cycle of the small numbers. But we didn't talk about breaking up words into syllables yet, did we? Syllable, to seal the bowl, to seal the mind, to break things apart and bring them back together, syllables. We were talking about 6 in different words. We were talking about the 0 number in every word, illuminating a 6. No matter what you do in a word, if you ever pass 10 once, 10 twice, 10 3 times, the minute you pass 10 3 times, man has been created. The minute you mention number 40, there's somebody here. There's somebody here. When you pass 50, when you pass 60, so when you count, you have to understand, if you go 60 this way, and you go 60 this way, you get the world of 20 in between. 40, 50, 60. But do you get to go inside of 40? Because you have 40, you're allowed 50, you're allowed 60. Can you go 31? Can you go 69? How does that come? Because don't forget, this is the corral. But is it your 2 arms? Here becomes the 50. Is it the shoulder? That's the 60 and the 40. And then the extension brings you into the 30 world and brings you into the 60 world. No, you see the way you went 40 and under into 30, the way you go 60 and over, but you don't hit 70, but you're going, you understand? I'm going 10 to this way. I should be going down all the way from 40 to 30. But when I go from 60, I go 60 to 70. But I'm not going into the 70 world, but I am going into the 30 world. I went 40 and down, I need to get that 10, that's in the 30, but when I go 60 and up, I'm using all the 60. So am I using the 60? Am I taking the 60 world, 40, 50, and 60, and going into the 70 world? You understand? I'm going 40 and up, but am I going 60 and down? Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. There's so much to do, one step at a time. Any suggestions for anything, I'll always try to figure out some sort of mathematical reason for something to be whatever it is compared to something else, and what that is. And like I said, we have to recreate the dictionary for the difference of 2 things to understand the reason before we even create a new dictionary to explain it, and to explain it how it became what it is, for what reason, so that everybody would understand the word better and use that reason. I mean, I went to McDonald's before, Tim Hortons, and the first thing she says to me, she says, welcome to Tim Hortons, can I take your order, please? I go, holy shit. I went to Tim Hortons, I knew that, so she told me I'm at Tim Hortons again. And I wanted to give her my order, and she said, you want me to take your order? So everything was doubled up. Like, I'm at Tim Hortons. Welcome to Tim Hortons. Like, oh yeah, all right, yeah, I'm at Tim Hortons, right. Like, things that are said twice that we take no count for. You show up to the counter, can I serve you, please? You're sitting at the table, can I serve you, please? Like, no, I shouldn't have showed up at this table because I knew there would be no service. But now she's asking if I want service. Well, if I didn't want service, maybe I wouldn't have walked in here. Monkey. So Wayne Gretzky was 99. Guy Lafleur was the flower. He was number 10. Then you had Philadelphia and the Russians, 1972. 32 years later, reaching the back door, and again, we have the same problem. Except the Russians this time are not backing down on the hockey rink. But the U.S. team of the Philadelphia Flyers, Pennsylvania, near Delaware, seem to be backed up 32 years later. Ring a bell, anybody? Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. If you see 0, you automatically have 6. So if you see it next to anything, you automatically have a minimum of 7 and a maximum of 15. 9 and 6. 9 and 6 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. All over again. 6 and 1 is the minimum. You have 7. You have 1 with 7. You have 9 with 6. You have 1 and 9, which in pool now becomes the yellow. And did I say snooker? I didn't say snooker. Did I say snooker? I wasn't talking about snooker. But now we're into different colored balls in snooker with different numbers. And the sizes are different. Now you want to talk about sizes? If the sizes are different, then there's a difference. But it's a little difference. So that can that be the area of the mind? Okay, and what is inside ticking? Raphael, 7286. Do you see this? 5. The opposite of 5 is 9. Do you know that the numerological count for 5 and 9 is 42 in both of them? And there's so much more that goes along with this. And you want to talk about 42? Let's just wait. Thank you for watching this video. Raphael, 7286, constellation of Pegasus. In the year 5775, we are on the countdown. It is the 10th of the 3rd. In 1 month from now, it'll be the reverse date for October 4th of 2014. On April 10th is that date. So we are definitely going to be in, if there is something that's going to happen, that's the reverse date. It has to start happening by April 4th. Okay, but it's already happening, and it already started. It's the difference in the illusion of what's going on around the world. Banks, money, war, fighting, the differences between thoughts of what one should do and what the other one wants them to do. Oh, it's happening. And I'm not really feeling the pinch because I'm in the wrong world and I don't watch the news. But it's almost time to start watching a little bit more. Thank you for watching.